yield 3 minutes to the distinguished gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Chabot, the chair of the Small Business Committee.
The gentleman from Ohio is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I rise today in strong support of H.J. Res. 37, and I want to commend my colleague from North Carolina, Chairwoman Fox, for her leadership in sponsoring this measure. I'm proud to be a co-sponsor. The blacklisting rule is a textbook example of executive overreach that became standard operating procedure during the previous administration. Instead of using the existing suspension and debarment system to deal with bad actors, the Obama administration imposed an unnecessary regulation that placed significant burdens on all federal contractors, even though they admitted that, quote, the vast majority of federal contractors play by the rules, unquote. This kind of action, failing to enforce existing rules and then imposing a burdensome, redundant regulatory scheme, is exactly what frustrates the American people about Washington. We all want bad actors to be held accountable, but this rule is unnecessary red tape that punishes everyone for the actions of a few. As chairman of the Committee on Small Business, I'm concerned that we already have 100,000 fewer small businesses doing business with the federal government than we did back in 2012. So in the second term of the Obama administration, we lost 100,000 small businesses doing business with the federal government across the country. That means we have less competition, and that's bad for job creators and it's bad for taxpayers alike, because when there's less competition, we pay more. So the tax dollars that we send here to Washington are not used as efficiently as they ought to be. The Committee on Small Business held several hearings and roundtables on this rule over the last 2 years, heard directly from small businesses, and examined the Obama administration's rule very closely. What we found was quite alarming. The blacklisting rule would force innocent small businesses to settle unproven claims, disclose commercially sensitive information to their competitors, and report information the federal government already has. So we're going through this whole process. The federal government's already got it, but they're not competent enough to use what they already got, so they want to put it on the contractor to do even more. It makes no sense. Ultimately, this rule will result in small businesses being blacklisted from participating in federal contracting based on accusations, just accusations, where they may ultimately be found innocent. They didn't do anything wrong, yet they're barred from doing business with the government. Again, it makes no sense. I urge my colleagues to support H.J. Res. 37. Passage of this joint resolution will undo a duplicative and unnecessary regulation that harms small business, hurts competition, and prevents taxpayers from getting the best bang for their buck. So I again want to thank the chairwoman for her leadership in pushing this forward. I urge my colleagues to support it, and I yield back to back.
Gentleman from Virginia.